Alright, I'm gonna make a video right now about some of the Star Wars Jedi Survivor things, right? And so I'm gonna divide this video into three things, right? Into three things. Number one is gonna be all the issues with the game, right? That I have and that people have. But keep in mind, I have the PS5 version, so that's just that. And number two is overall thoughts on the game, like the good stuff. So basically bad stuff, good stuff, and then at the end I'm gonna go into the trophies. Now granted, there's gonna be no spoilers in the video. I'm gonna not go through any of the like story stuff, whatever. I'm about 13, 14 hours into the game, so I am quite a lot in the game. However, I am doing all the side stuff, so I'm not super into the story as someone who's only playing the story. Before I start, if you could like the video, that helps a lot, alright, with the algorithm. So just if you click that, that's amazing for me. Thank you so much if you do. Now granted, let's start with the bad stuff. Now granted, something that I actually forgot to talk about completely, something that I wasn't even aware of until like I got the game, right? And I wasn't even sure then. This game is like over 140 gigabytes on PS5, right? Which is obviously, it's a huge game. Obviously it's a big game, it's a lot of planets. It's 8 planets, the planet I'm on right now, it's huge. But it shouldn't be over like 150 gigs, whatever. You can't play the game on disc. There's no game on a disc. Now, I understand when people, but you can still trade it. If someone gets it, they can still, buy it. So it's not like it's a code in the game or in the box that you only use once, you only own it forever. So you can't sell it off and stuff like that. However, I still think there should be a base data on the disc from game preservation. So that's honestly, of everything else that's happening with the game, I think that's the worst part. This game should be under 100 gigabytes and the whole data should be on the disc. So that's like a huge red flag for the physical copies, right? Especially PS5 ones, because usually like there's a base version on the disc. It's playable usually. Like 90% of PS5 games are playable just on disc with no patches, no internet, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, I wanna make sure to, when I get into the next point, there's like a huge difference to me between glitches, bugs, and all that stuff, and performance. Those are two categories. I don't contain them in the same thing. Because here's the thing. You can have a game running locked 60 and be buggy. And you can have like this game, which I don't have any bugs. The game crashed once on me in 14 hours, 13 hours, whatever. Only once it crashed. And I mean, if it only crashes one more time before I get the platinum, it is what it is. But I prefer it not to crash, obviously. So the only bug I've had from my entire playthrough so far is a crash. Nothing in game, I'm not been locked out, I'm not like, have any insane issues or whatever. So that's a huge thing, right? That's a huge thing. Now the biggest thing, the absolutely biggest thing about this game is the performance issues. Now I've tried to play it in quality mode. It is pretty stable, but I don't care about playing 30 FPS, okay? So if it works in quality mode, if it doesn't work in quality mode, I really don't care, but I want to say for people who don't care about 60 frames, for the few, maybe a lot of people care, but for the people who care about 30 FPS, I'm pretty sure it's good there. I'm not sure, like I only tried 10 minutes and I went back. I can't do 30 frames, but whatever. Here's the thing. 60 frames mode is not locked at all. In the beginning area, it is pretty all over the place, but it is not to the point where I want to quit playing the game. And after I get out of the like 2-hour intro until you get to the first planet, then because of the first planet, like you don't encounter as many enemies. It's not going on as much as the part in the beginning, right? So I think the reason why it performs better in the planet is because of that. However, it's still not acceptable. Like I still think they should add VRR, which obviously doesn't have, and it's hitting maybe 45 to 60 all the time, but you can notice the drops all the time. But like I said before, you can still play the game. You can still play the game on PS5. Now, obviously, I've seen PC clips, and with PC, it's weird because I've actually seen a lot of people have played on Ultra over 60 frames with a good PC, if they update the latest drivers that came out like this week or whatever. So if you're playing this game on PC, if you want to get it on PC, and just make sure the drivers are updated, just to make sure like everything's done there. But on PS5, it's working okay so far. Now, the reason why I'm not worried is because, or maybe I am a little bit. I'm not sure how long it will take. But if it's fixed fast, like early next week, that's fine. Like a few days after patch, it is like it's okay to play for now. But I would prefer if it was like completely good right from the get-go. Because Dead Space I got on launch, right? And for like first 4 or 5 days, the graphics were a bit weird. The performance was good. It was lock 60 all the time, but the graphics were weird, and then they just patched it out, and it falsely after that. It was like just a few days after the game came out. So I hope the same things happen here. We're like, okay, they patched it out to the least where like it's pretty much locked 60, has VRR and all that stuff. So those are the bad things. It is basically the performance. Now, a lot of people ask me, okay, but should I buy the game now? Should I wait? If you bought the game, you bought the game. If like, I think if you can wait, especially on PC, that's like, don't even buy there. But on consoles, PS5 especially, where I'm playing, if you really want to play it, it's up to you. If you can wait, it's probably better. That's my, like, it is playable, but if you wait, it's probably way better for you. That's my honest opinion. And I think it's gonna be fixed fast, because again, the base game is there. It's just the performance is the issue. It's not like it's bugged out like Cyberpunk was, which everything, like the whole game was issues, right? Like it is polished. It's a polished game outside of the performance. So that's why I'm making sure to say that, okay, performance is the issue, but not the game itself with glitches and bugs. I think those are two separate categories, performance and bugs, right? Now, granted, let's get into the good stuff. The one thing that actually, like right off the bat, the things that surprised me the most is the DualSense. The DualSense, I think, maybe even, I'm not even joking right now, outside of the first party from Sony, this might be the best use of DualSense. It is truly like, I know it's gonna sound silly, you truly feel the force in the controller, like you truly feel the force in the controller. Like when you like parry something, you feel the parry. When you hit something harder or softer, you feel it that way. So I really like how they made the sabers feel like in the DualSense. So very good job from the DualSense standpoint. Something else that I like is the story. The story is very intriguing. I like that Cal, the main character, is not completely like, oh, super happy Jedi or whatever. It's actually like a development there from the last game. And honestly, if you haven't played the last game, there is a sort of story recap or like what happens in the game, like a movie, like five, 6, 7, I don't know, minute movie that recaps the game. So before you press play, you can recap the game. Very good for them. Now, gameplay-wise, stances. So far, I'm using the dual wield most, but I also like when you like combine them into one big saber. So those are my two favorite stances, and it is noticeable because some bosses I really can't beat unless I pair them together, right? And some of the other enemies, like I can't really do long combos, so I have to use dual stances. It is really unique how they made it stances, right? And the stance I don't like so far is the only like when you use the one saber. I'm not sure like how that can be fun because the other ones are so much better. But my favorite one so far at least is the dual one. That is so cool to use. Now obviously you have more stuff. You have like tokens you can use, which is basically, you have like a whole tree and then like you can pick different tokens to put in your character that does things like you block faster, you do this faster, you do another thing faster. And then what you also have is other things like forces, health and all that stuff. Typical skill tree. And like the previous game or like in Souls games, if you die and you come back to the guy who killed you, you only lose like your meter up there. And if you just hit him once, you get your stuff back. So you don't have to even kill the guy like you do in Souls games to get your like XP back. But also you unlock shortcuts all the time. So like you don't really like, it is not that hard to go back to the place where you got killed, and then you can run away if you don't want to kill them, all that stuff. So yeah. So my first impressions, like it is truly a good sequel, a very, very good sequel. And something I want to try to do is like how I plan to platinum games. Because obviously this is not a hard game to platinum. I'm going to get into it why it's not a hard game to platinum. And I'm going to platinum this game. However, I will say right now, the platinum is bugged. But what is bugged is not hard to fix and it's not missable, if that makes sense. So as long as they patch it, it's going to be like you can just go to the place, pick up the thing, and then you get the platinum basically. So for now, yeah, it is. No one has the platinum because it's not obtainable. However, it is. You can get it. Like it's an easy patch. What I understand, it's just have to wait for the patch, which sucks obviously. But the game is so long. It's not like I'm gonna, I'm just one step away from the platinum. So for now, I don't care about it because it is heavily have to get fixed fast, so people can get the platinum. Now the platinum, here's the trophy part, right? It is pretty easy. I'm not gonna go for all the platinums. I'm just gonna go quick summary. So you have your classic, story hidden trophies, obviously. You have different combat stuff, like do this 50 times, do this 10 times, and you're gonna get those naturally anyway. You know, kill 20 enemies in like focus mode or like super slow motion mode. No difficulty trophies whatsoever. You can play the game on easy. I'm playing on the second hardest because I think even normal is pretty easy, honestly. So I play on second hardest. And the hardest part, if it gets too easy, I'm gonna bump it up again. But I don't think I need to. I think the second hardest is perfect for me. Various tasks, obviously, you know, do maybe this side mission, all these side missions. Nothing is missable there. The only thing that's notable, and it's not a spoiler, is that in chapter 1 and 4, you have to use your teammate. You can press R1 and then square. You only have a teammate very few times in the game. Make sure to use them like I think 10 or 15 times, whatever. You just have to use them until you get the trophy. So if you don't do it in the beginning, you can do it later on when you get a co-op partner again in the game. And just make sure to use the partner to make your attacks, and that's pretty much it. That's like the only missable. But there is New Game Plus. You can just start a New Game Plus and then get right off the bat anyway, so it doesn't matter all that much. And then obviously you have to do all forced tiers, which is basically, I'm not sure what that means, like forced tiers, like with all forced tiers, but you have to do like all the, you know, skill trees, like a whole skill tree and all that stuff. Basically play the game a lot and you get it. And something that's very important to me, this is the best part of the platinum trophy, whatever. You don't have to get 100% collectibles. Now, the plans are huge, so understand why it's a big game. Not 150 gigs, but understand why it's a big game. But you don't have to get 100% collectibles, which is very good because I don't want to follow a guy after I beat the game and do all this stuff in every planet. That's pretty boring to me. I would rather have them do something else, like something more fun or hard, than just time wasting with collectibles. But yeah, that was the good, the bad, and the trophy part. I hope everyone who stuck around this long likes the video. If you like it, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer it. Probably like if you ask me a question, I will have more time with the game, so it's gonna keep rolling. Again, my recommendation: if you really want to play it, you can do it right now, but it's probably better to wait for a few patches or down the road. Like I'm pretty sure, like when in a month's time, or especially in holidays, this game will be very, very good to play. So yeah, that was that. Hope you have a nice day, and see ya.